I found the 10 best jump shots in NBA 2K24. Regardless of your build, height, or three-point rating, I have the jump shot for you in this video. After watching this video, you will have the best jump shot, the optimal controller settings, including your shot timing visual cue, the proper takeover perk and floor setters equipped, and all of the best shooting tips that the best players in the world don't want you to know. 92% of my viewers are surprisingly not subscribed, so if you're one of those people, help us out. Click the red subscribe button. Let's grow the channel, become an OG, and be a sub before we reach 800,000 subscribers. I'm excited to show you guys these new jump shots because when I dropped my first jump shot video about 3 weeks ago, I didn't have the knowledge that I have now about these jump shots and certain shooting tips. We have a quick word from today's sponsor and then we're jumping right into the video. Guys, Underdog Fantasy just gave me a brand new offer to give to you guys. If you sign up before October 4th with code SOLE, your first deposit will be doubled up to $500. So if you deposit $500, you'll get 1,000 on the app. It's free money. If you just want to deposit 10, you'll get 20. And all Underdog Fantasy is higher or lower on your favorite players' player stats. I love making NFL picks, but the NBA season is right around the corner. Also, with code SOLO, every Sunday, they pretty much do a bunch of specials. You'll get half a yard pick'ems. You'll see some of these boosted payouts popping up like this one. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, so they don't have the specials for this weekend's football games yet. They do have a baseball one, for example, that has a boosted payout if you use this in your pick'em, and that's basically what they do with the NFL. They don't only have the pick'ems, but they also have a bunch of drafts for pretty much every sport. You guys can see Battle Royale week 4 for the NFL main slate. I love doing these. Basically, you just spend $5, you have a chance at 300,000 in prizes. You basically draft the fantasy team just for 1 week. Also, if you get 5 picks correct, let's say I were to just put $10 on this, I'd win $200. You'd 20x your money. Once again, use code SOLO. There will be a link in the description. Okay, so I'm now in the city, as you guys can see, and the first tip that I have for you guys is going to be about settings, and this is very important, so don't just briefly skip over this part of the video, because when we are in our controller settings, obviously there's a ton of different settings. I think there's probably like 50, but this one right here, shot timing visual cue, is huge. Starting from the top, I have my variation on. Shot timing, I have on shots only. You can time layups this year, so you might want to do shots and layups. That's probably the best way to go, but I don't like timing my layups, at least not yet. You know, it's still September. Later in the year, I'll probably end up timing them. I'm just gonna skip over the ones that aren't that important, like free throw timing. Shot timing visual cue, you guys want to put this on push. Well, at least that's what I'll recommend to you guys, because this is kind of personal preference. There are a ton of different options. There's 4 of them, starting with jump. Now, jump is basically like having this on very early, and as many of you guys know, having your shot timing on very early means you have to hold the X or square button for a very short period of time to green your jumper. If we go over to the next option, which is set point, this is like having it on early, and if we go to push, which is what I use, this is like having it on late, and release is going to be very late. So release would require you to hold the X or square button the longest in order to green your shot correctly. I like having it on push, which is the late timing. If you have it on jump, you're basically releasing the X or square button like when your player jumps off the ground. Like, it's for a very short amount of time you're holding the X or square button. But push is that perfect little median, you know, timing that at least I like. But if you guys can't get it down, maybe change over to set point, because that one's pretty solid as well. Make sure that you guys have your jump shot meter off. The head gameplay developer from 2K, Mike Wang, said that you get a 20% green window boost if you have your jump shot meter off this year. Now, for the last like 3 to 4 2Ks, you got a boost by having your shot meter off, but this year I think you get an even crazier one. If you're brand new to 2K, like you have not played a park game yet or whatever, then maybe keep this on, because you know you're gonna really have no clue how to time a jump shot. But once you play a few games and you're starting to get the timing down, turn this off, because it's gonna be a lot easier to green your shots once you know your timing. I have the layup meter off. Again, I don't really like timing the layups as of right now, and if I scroll down, you guys can see we have a bunch of things like my shot meter stuff, but I don't use a shot meter, so that doesn't really matter. Here are the rest of my settings. A lot of these don't matter that much. Actually, pro stick function, make sure that's on default, and pro stick orientation, make sure that's on absolute, but those are more of, you know, dribbling settings. As I scroll down, you guys can copy these down if you want to. Now, next up, we have to go into our settings. There's not going to be much in here, but something that I do want to mention is going to be shot feedback. I think when you first get on the game, this is going to be off. Make sure that this is on all shots. This way, when you shoot a jumper, it'll tell you on the bottom of the screen if you're shooting it slightly early, slightly late, or if you're shooting it just very late. I mean, you're going to really have to adjust to that. But you know what I'm saying? If it says you're shooting it slightly early, then hold the X button or the square button a little bit longer. It just helps you kind of get your timing down on your shots. And a lot of people, especially beginners, probably don't even know this is a thing. So make sure to go into your settings and put shot feedback on all shots. And here are the rest of my settings, although I don't think many of them really matter. The next thing that I got to put you onto, and this is more for beginners, if I press start and go over to progression and then go to get boosts, you guys can see I have a ton of skill boosts and also Gatorade turbo boost. Now, I don't normally buy these. There was just that strikeout event. If I go to season events right here and then go to recent events, you guys can see I played a bunch of the strikeout servers and basically just racked up boosts by getting the rewards. So I don't normally buy all of the other boosts, but the one that I do buy, like I play every single game with, is going to be jump shot boost. It's 1500 receipt for 10 games of jump shot boost. Make sure to use these because if you're going up against other good players or just anyone in general, I mean, a lot of people are going to have these on. The best players in the world, including myself, all the 2K League players, all of them, they all use jump shot boost for every single game. So make sure to buy these. Like I said, though, you don't really need the other boosts. If you're going to play stage or you're playing in a huge game, then maybe, you know, if you're a lockdown, maybe buy steal boost. You know, they're not that important. If you're a center, you could buy a rebounding boost. But again, I only really do that if it's like a huge game. Same with Gatorade. I don't recommend buying these, but if you're going to play stage or in a huge game, I'll probably buy this one over here on the right, the orange Gatorade. Also, since we're on the screen, you guys can see the weekly workout right there. I have the additional turbo meter active as it says, and this is going to give me an extra turbo bar. You guys can see in the bottom right hand corner, that little blue bar on the turbo meter is an additional turbo meter. This gives me more stamina. And as you guys know, stamina matters a lot when you're shooting. If you're low on stamina, if you're tired, it is a lot more hard to shoot. So go to the Gatorade training facility. If you pull out your map, which is like one of the middle buttons of controller, the Gatorade training facility is right here. Go inside there and do all 5 of your workouts like it says right here. Get a perfect workout. You need to get 3 stars or more on the workouts to get the additional turbo meter. So if you're failing a workout badly and you're only gonna get 1 or 2 stars, close app or dashboard and you can redo it, I believe. Or also, once you get started too, you get a permanent additional turbo meter, so you don't even have to do the workouts anymore. Oh yeah, by the way, this is my current record. It should be a lot better, but it's still very good. It's a 90 win percentage right now. So you guys should really trust me with these tips and the jump shots that I'm about to give you. Now, next I want to talk to you guys about Takeover. When you guys are in game, shooting Takeover is very OP. I know this is a jump shot video. If there's a point guard on your team, now I don't really do this, but I want to tell you all about it. Playmaking take is very OP. If say I use playmaking take and pass to my teammate, like he is gonna knock down that shot unless he's literally blind. It makes shooting off of your passes insane. So I figured I would mention that. Also, if we click A on Takeover, you guys can see we have all of the different Takeover perks right here. Casuals might not know about this, so listen up if you guys don't know about Takeover perks. If you're new to 2K, these all help you in game. They help you, you know, get Takeover faster or just do different things to your Takeover. And how you get these is if you go to quests, you can go down here to the side quest, and then you guys can see the Takeover perks tab. So basically just go through these quests. They're not that hard to do and get the ones that you want. The one that I've been using is Sponge. It says when a teammate performs an action to increase their Takeover meter, you get a small boost to your own. And I'm a big passer, so you know what I'm saying, I'll be passing my teammates. When they green a shot, my Takeover meter flies up like 40%. It's actually crazy. Accelerator's the one that everyone loves, and in order to get it, you have to get literally every single other perks. You need all of them in order to get Accelerator, and this helps your meter fill up faster when you're performing well on the court. It's a little bit overrated this year. I recommend using Sponge. And then in the top left, if you guys complete the Mama Mentality quest, you actually, as it says, Mama Mentality will replace your double Takeover, and when activated, it will boost all of your categories. So fun fact, you actually get all of the Takeovers if you get Mama Mentality, and as it says, it replaces your double Takeover. So basically, you got to get double Takeover in game, and you basically have all the Takeovers. Once again, in order to get that, go to your quest, go to the side quest, and I believe there will be a Mama Mentality quest in here. I think it might be under special, but I already completed it, so I can't see it. Next up, we have the badges, and this year there are no more badge points, so it's not like I can tell you guys, oh, put this badge on, put this badge on. Like, nah, your build gets its specific badges. But what I can tell you guys about are these badge perks. So this is what I have my current badges on when it comes to Overdrive, Immunity, Drill, Savant, and Scholar. And basically, these things help you to, you know, get badge progress faster or also lose it slower. So for example, Immunity, if you have a badge under Immunity, I have Blinders Gold under Immunity. This badge is gonna go down slower. Let's just use Gray Machine, for example. I stop greening shots a lot, so like it's gonna regress. It will regress slower because I have it under Immunity. And once again, if you guys want to unlock these badge perks, just go to your quest because they're in the quest as well. And as far as the floor setters go, I believe you have to get these from the season pass, so you might not have them off rip, but eventually a lot of you guys will have floor setters. The thing about these, as you guys can see right here, if I go to pick one, is that it's permanent. So you might not want to just pick a random badge and floor set it because it is permanent. Now for my shooters out there, you guys can see I got limitless range set on the floor to gold. So this means that this badge will never drop below gold, because you guys know if you stop using a certain badge this year, it will actually drop all the way down to bronze level. I recommend that. But something else that I will say is if you have a certain badge that you just cannot get up a certain level, like you guys can see my S tier badges, Giant Slayer is bronze. Well, first, as you guys can see on the right, I still myself to upgrade my driving layup to even get it any higher. But if there's a certain badge that you just cannot get higher, like it's supposed to be gold, but you just cannot activate it in game, maybe floor set that badge. But again, remember, floor setting a badge is permanent, so you don't want to just randomly just floor set a badge just because you feel like it. Like, put some thought into it. I like limitless range set floor to gold though. Okay, it is now time for the part of the video that I know you guys clicked on it for, and that is the jump shot. As I said earlier, regardless of your build's height or 3-point rating, I will have a jump shot for you in this video. I'm going to go through like 10 to 13, maybe even 15 different jumpers. Something I want to say off the bat, you guys can see the requirements in the bottom right hand corner. Like, these jump shots right here are going to be for under 6'5", and then also depending on which one I click, like if I click LaMelo Ball, it will change. It'll say that I need a 75 plus 3-point, or if I click Lonzo Ball, it'll say I need a 72. So you're not gonna be able to get every single jumper in this video depending on your 3-point or mid-range shot rating. Also, we have the grades down in the bottom right. We got release height, we got defensive immunity, we got release speed, and timing stability. These are all very important. You want to look at these. You do not want these to be on D's or even F's, which should be really bad if you had an F grade. Timing stability is the new one. That was not in any previous 2Ks. And if you guys didn't know, when a defender is closer to you, you actually get different shot speeds. Like, when a defender's closer to you, I believe it speeds up your jump shot. But with timing stability, if you have that closer to an A like this one, as I picked a Dick Barnett base, now it is on an A timing stability. That means you're gonna get a more consistent release. But if you have a bad grade, like say, I don't know, we'll just go with a B because that's worse than an A, you're gonna get more different jump shot timing. So you want to make sure timing stability is as close to A as possible. I don't think release height matters that much. Obviously, you want to be as close to A as possible, but I think release height is the one that you should worry about the least. Release speed actually matters a lot because you want to get your shot off fast. You don't want people to get, you know, good closeouts on you. And defensive immunity has to do with the contest, but I believe that doesn't have to do with the base of your jump shot. It actually changes when you put on different releases. So you want a high defensive immunity if you want to get, you know, the least contest possible. We'll just put it that way. Since I'm plugging y'all all these jump shots and tips, make sure you're subbed up. We're on the road to 100K. I'd appreciate it if you could sub up. And this first jump shot that I got for y'all is the one that has been the most chicken for me. This thing is absolutely green. I do not miss with this jumper, and this is for small guards, so you're gonna be under 6'5". Like I said though, I got jumpers for everyone in this video. This is gonna be base John Stockton, one of the best, if not the best bases in the entire game for small guards. In order to get this though, you need an 87 plus mid-range shot or 3-point shot. Upper release 1 is gonna be John Wall, and upper release 2 is gonna be Damian Lillard. These are two of the best releases in the game. This is what I did with my jump shot. I'm gonna give you guys a bunch of different bases. Like, the base is the main thing, and the releases you can kind of mess around with. I will tell you guys a bunch of the best releases soon. But you can kind of mix and match releases. They just are kind of like the icing on the cake, but the base is the main thing. You guys can see the grades down there. C- release height. Like I said, release height probably matters the least out of all 4 of these grades. We have an absolutely maxed out release speed at an A+. We get an A- defense immunity, which is pretty good, and a B+ timing stability. We have full release speed 100%, and the blending is 53% Lillard, 47% Wall. Now, if you guys want a higher timing stability, you have to go down on the release speed. You guys can see now I have an A timing stability, but it's not worth it. Trust me, it is not worth it to do that, but that is how you would get a better timing stability in your jumper. Now, this next jumper is another jump shot that I have been using a lot to start the year. I like the Stockton one more, but in case you guys can't get the Stockton one, or you just want to try something else, we have base Kevin Porter Jr., which is the best base from 2K23 for guards, at least in my opinion. And it is, once again, a very good option here in NBA 2K24. We have upper release 1, James Harden, which is a solid release this year, and upper release 2, Oscar Robertson, which is the best release from 2K23, and it is once again one of the most smooth releases in the game. You guys can see we got full release speed, 60% Harden, 40% Oscar, and the grades in the bottom right hand corner, we got a B release height, an A- defensive immunity, A release speed, and a C+ timing stability. Now, before we jump into the next jumper, one that I want to mention to you guys because I didn't write it down, but I do see it right here, is gonna be this Brandon Podziemski base. Now, this base is like base 3 from years past. If you guys remember that, I think it was like 2K21 Next Gen where that was a very popular jumper. And so this is a solid base. I use it a little bit, but I feel like the other ones are just a little bit better. But if you do want to try it, if maybe you like base 3 a lot from that certain 2K, maybe give this a try. Again, releases don't matter as much, so I don't have set releases for this jumper, but I'm sure Harden and Robertson would work, or you can mix and match. You know, before I said Wall or Lillard worked good. You can use whatever releases really work for you. I mean, I would probably stick to ones that you see in this video though. I wouldn't like go in here and just use like Killian Hayes release, because some of the releases will actually mess up your jumper. But yeah, the base is the main thing that matters. Now, the next jump shot that I have for y'all, again, this is for small guards. It's gonna be base Steph Curry. This is a very smooth base that a lot of the small small guards love this year. This is not one that I've been using a lot of. Like I said, I like the Stockton one the most, but I gotta give you all options in case that one doesn't work for you. You could try this one. And these releases are actually not the ones that I would go with. I would probably go with Garland for this one because I heard that's pretty good, and you could keep on Robertson, but one that I heard works well with this is going to be Trae Young. And then I would go 70% Garland, 30% Trae Young, which gives you a D+ release height, A- defensive immunity, an A+ release speed, and a B+ timing stability. This actually lowers the 3-point or mid-range shot needed, so now you guys can get this with an 87+ 3-point or mid-range, of course. But something that I think may be an issue is I don't know if the Steph Curry base will appear in the jump shot creator for you unless you have a 92+, so it might not appear. But it says in the bottom right that you only need an 87, so that might be a glitch. Maybe 2K will have to address that. I'm not sure. Again, you guys can use these bases, or you can mix and match them and say put on Robertson or, you know, John Wall. You could use, like I said, there's a lot of really good options, whereas here's John Wall right here. It's up to y'all. If you like a certain release, go ahead, put it on, but the base is the main thing. Now the next jumper that I gotta put y'all onto is gonna be this Fred VanVleet jumper. So we have Fred VanVleet base, then we have Darius Garland for the upper release 1 and Trae Young for the upper release 2. Of course, we're going full speed on every single one of these jumpers. We're going full speed. We want the fastest jumper possible. We got 70% Garland, 30% Trae Young. This jumper is smooth, and notice it has an A release speed. So pretty much all the jumpers in this video, especially for like small guards that I'll be showing you, will have a maxed out A+ release speed. This one's a little bit slower, so if those jumpers are too fast for you, you want to try a slower one, then maybe try this one out. I did mention Fred VanVleet in my first jump shot video, and I got a lot of good feedback on it. People say that I saved them with this jumper, so go ahead, try this one out if you want a slower one. And the last small guard jump shot that I have for you guys is going to be base Terrence Mann. This is a new base that has never been popular in previous 2Ks, but this year it's actually pretty good. It's a very fast base, so that's why a lot of people like it. For release 1, we're going Damian Lillard. For release 2, we're going Trae Young, and as you guys can see, we're going 70% Lillard, 30% Trae Young, and of course full release speed. The grades, we get a C- release height, A defensive immunity, A+ release speed, and a C timing stability. And for this one, you need an 86 or higher mid-range, a 3-point rating. Now that I showed you guys 5 to 6 jump shots for those small guard builds, it's time to talk about those mid-tier height builds, those ISO builds, the spot ups, the lockdowns, even the shooting centers. I got about 5 jump shots for you guys that are going to completely change the game. The first one is going to be this base JT Thor jump shot. If you're looking at a bunch of different jump shot videos, I'm sure you've heard of this one by now. This is the base that I've been using mainly on my lockdown, my 6-7 lock, because that's pretty much my only build that fits these height ranges right here, but I will be making an ISO build soon. You guys can see we got base JT Thor, which is absolutely a green light base. We got Sadiq Bey and Kobe Bryant as the releases. Full release speed, of course, as we went over earlier, 45% Bey, 55% Kobe. And the grades are pretty solid. We got an A- release height, a B defensive immunity, an A release speed, and a D timing stability. If you guys been watching the whole video, I said release speed is mainly going to be an A+ on all the jumpers. That was pretty much for small guards. As you get taller in height, it's going to be harder to get fast jump shots. Like I'm talking A+ release speeds. These are the releases that I prefer. However, like I said, if you guys prefer other releases, maybe you want to use Oscar Robertson, because I believe you can get that on this jump shots. Yeah, you can right here. No, you can put that in. You can mix it up. Also, for this JT Thor base, you only need a 76 mid-range or 3-point shot, so a lot of builds can get it. However, with the releases that I added in the bottom right-hand corner, you guys can see it makes it a 79. But if you don't have a 79 3 or midi, you could just, you know, tweak the releases. I'm going to mention a few other good releases, so you could try those, and it'll probably lower the rating that's needed. Now, the next jumper that I want to mention to you guys is going to be one that I cannot see on my lockdown build, and that is because I do not have a high enough 3-point rating for it. I believe you need an 83 3-point rating in order to unlock it, and that's going to be base Cam Johnson. In case you are a 6'5" build to a 6 foot, I believe 9 build, and you have a high 3-point rating, and 83 is pretty high for those, you know, heights, Cam Johnson will appear right here between Elise Johnson and Jalen Johnson. And this is one of the best bases in the entire game, so use that if you can get it. Again, the releases, they don't matter as much, but I would probably use Bey and Kobe since that's what I use my other jumper. Although, like I said, Robertson is another good release that you guys could mix in if you want to. For this next jump shot, this one is going to be a little bit slower than the JT Thor one. At least it feels a little bit slower to me. And this is going to be the Pat Connaughton base jump shot. For release 1, we have Oscar Robertson, and for release 2, we have Sadiq Bey. Full speed, 54% Oscar, 46% Bey. And what's interesting about this jump shot is we have an A+ release height. I mean, look at the jumper on the right. Like, we are really going to be shooting over everybody. Look at how high that is. I don't know if there's a release height higher than this one. C+ defensive immunity, A release speed, and a D- timing stability. With a lot of these taller build jump shots, the timing stability is going to be kind of low, so I wouldn't really worry about that. It's just like hard or impossible to get like an A on a build like this. This one's really good. I recommend trying this jump shot out if the other ones aren't working for you. The next jump shot that I have for you guys is going to be base Dyson Daniels with release 1 Kobe Bryant, release 2 Sadiq Bey. And as you guys can see, full speed, 44% Kobe, 56% Bey. And this is going to be a 79 plus mid-range or 3-point shot. You guys can see B plus release height, E minus defensive immunity, A release speed, and a D plus timing stability. This O'Shea Brissett base only needs a 73 plus rating. You guys can use this and tweak the releases. Again, the releases change the requirement, as you guys can see in the bottom right hand corner. If we go double Sadiq Bey with this, you can get this jumper at a 73 rating. Okay, so now we are talking about jump shots for builds that are 6'10" or higher. That's very few of you guys, but I know there's a lot of people out there that are looking for jump shots for these builds. And a lot of these jump shot videos don't even mention, you know, 6'10" or higher jump shots. So I got y'all. The one I would highly recommend is going to be Jonathan Isaac. This one is absolutely chicken. It is absolutely green light. However, this will require you have the highest 3-point rating out of all of the jumpers I'm going to mention. You guys can see all of these are locked because I'm on a 60 overall 6'10", since I don't actually have one. I did my research, talked to a lot of the best players in the world, and I got the best jump shots for y'all for this video. So go Jonathan Isaac with the base, and then for the releases, you're going to want to find Danilo Gallinari, which is right here. And then for the second release, we're actually going to go with Tim Duncan, which is actually kind of surprising. You probably would think like, oh, he doesn't have the best jump shot release. Like I actually used this back in 2K19. One of my jumpers is actually pretty solid. So again, that's base Jonathan Isaac, and then you are going to go with Danilo Gallinari and Tim Duncan for the releases. You can mess around with the blending. It's not going to matter too much, but those are the releases that I would go with. Now for the next jump shot that I got for y'all, this is probably a little bit more realistic. Like you guys probably don't have an 82 plus 3-point rating or mid-range rating if you're 6'10", so you probably couldn't get that other one. Now we have a PJ Washington base jumper. So put this on. This one says you need a 76 plus to unlock it, so you might not even have that. But if you do, put on PJ Washington, go back over to the releases, go to Tim Duncan again. We're going to put on Tim Duncan. It's going to be Charles Bassey. So we're going to go Bassey and Tim Duncan on the releases. Full release speed for all these jumpers, by the way. And the release blending, you guys can tweak that. It doesn't matter too much. You go 50-50 if you want. And the next jumper, I actually can unlock this. It's going to be Andre Drummond. I'm unlocking this on a 65 overall, which is kind of crazy. Every build should have this. You have a 45 plus mid-range or 3-point shot. You will see this in a jump shot creator. You will have it. So we go Andre Drummond. And then for the releases, the first one we're going to put on here is going to be Jaren Jackson Jr. It's a solid release. And then the next one is going to be in the end. We are going to be having Dirk Nowitzki as the other release. And you guys can see with a 50-50 blending, full release speed, you can get this jumper at a 70 mid-range shot or 3-point shot. If for some reason you have a 60s shot, then you know, I'd probably go with this Andre Drummond base, and I would just find another release to swap out that, you know, you can get like a 65 rating or whatever you have. Now that you guys have a new best jump shot, what you guys are going to want to do is probably go to the Gatorade training facility, rent out a private court. You just go to that door in the back of the facility and shoot around. Or if you're playing in game, again, put on your shot feedback in the settings. And if you're seeing that you're shooting earlies, hold it a little bit longer. If you're shooting late, you know, release it a little bit quicker. The shot feedback is your friend. I'm telling y'all, use that to get your timing down. Use your meter if you really have to, but eventually you're going to want to turn that off for that green window boost. But I just gave you all the best jump shots. It's time to take over the park now. I'll put a bunch of other tip videos, whether you guys need dribble moves or whether you need a new build or the best VC methods. I'll put those all in the link in the description. Again, if you guys are going to use Underdog Fantasy, use code SOUL to double your first deposit up to $500 from now until October 4th. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably like the one on your screen even more, so go ahead, click it.